Rusame reader, Crow Song, and today I will be reading to you from Royal Guard by Mirio Wright. Now, on to Chapter 20, Winter Ball. As the weeks went by in a flash, the Winter Ball grew closer and closer. America personally dreaded the event due to the abnormal amount of nobles and royals coming to attend. The Winter Ball is a Britannia tradition, but it's pretty famous, so almost all kingdoms are invited to join the ball. Of course, there are a few bad kingdoms who are never invited to events like these, but it's unlikely they'd show up even if they'd been invited. It's 2 days before the ball, and the whole palace of Britannia is hectic. So many preparations for the party are made, which will be held in the palace. The marble columns and chandelier were a beautiful golden color. The palace workers were invited to the ball as well, despite the criticism Britain got for allowing workers to participate. Britain stood his ground, though, and insisted that the workers participated. America agreed wholeheartedly with his dad for once. That's one of the few things the two had in common as father and son. They both held high morals for equality and respect despite the backlash. America's mom forbade him from entering the ballroom before the winter ball. She said she wanted it to be a surprise. Russia seemed a little excited. Of course, only America noticed that. He'd spent way too much time with his guard so that his emotions could be understood despite his unmoving expression. The day of the ball finally came. A line of carriages rolled into the palace. America was told to style his hair and such, but he's too lazy to do things like that. The prince stared at his complexion in a mirror for a few minutes. Then he slapped both of his cheeks. "Okay, America, you got this," he said, determined. Then he heard a series of knocks on the door. His face brightened up. "I'm coming!" America jumped off his seat and was about to leave before checking his outfit again. Since when did I care about my appearance this much? Oh well, he sighed in defeat. Finally, after he was satisfied, he opened the door. "Hey Russ, let's leave quick. My parents are going to yell at me if I'm late." America and Russia both walked to the ballroom. They were both wearing their usual outfits. America was required to wear his prince crown, though, so he did. The golden crown shimmered under the moonlight. The ballroom was extra beautiful tonight. It was jam-packed with nobles and royals. The melodies played in the background echoed throughout the entire ballroom. Everything seemed to be coated in a blanket of gold. They both made their way to an empty spot to just stand and talk. This whole event was overwhelming for the both of them. But before they could, America was pulled away by the arm by his mom to introduce him to her friends. America gave Russia a look. Russia followed America throughout the entire night, a good distance away due to the large amount of people wanting to meet the prince. America constantly gave Russia glances just because he really wanted to spend all of the ball with the Russian instead of other royals. But Russia wasn't quite good at picking up signals, so he thought throughout the entire night that America was enjoying himself meeting the new royals. Somehow, America finally managed to break free and decided to just stand in a deserted spot by the food table, with his guard to catch his breath. That was exhausting. America chuckled. The Russian stared intently without a word. Of course, he felt oddly annoyed that America was spending more time with the others rather than him. The Russian was about to say something before someone pushed through the crowd towards them. "Oh, hello, America, dear. Why don't you hang out with your little fiancé here? I have business to do with other royals. Thanks so much. The Japanese Empire came and left as quick as the wind. Japan was wearing an extra fancy kimono, and there was more accessories on her outfit. She had an aloof aura to her, fitting of a future queen, but as soon as her mother left, she relaxed her shoulders and back. I'm so sorry about, she sighed, leaning against the wall next to America. If you're not comfortable with it, just tell your mom, he replied. You can't keep pretending to be fine with it. Take some time to relax a little. Japan let out a series of low laughter. It's not like I have a choice, do I? She expects me to be a perfect future queen, and she believes that I'm fine under this pressure. As they talked about problems, Russia glared at Japan the entire time. The two of them talked without sparing each other a single glance, because they both have to focus on keeping a mask up. If the two of them were to talk to each other face to face, Japan would probably slip up in the middle and accidentally laugh too hard, or something similar to that. Without looking at each other, the two would find it easier to keep up their facade. America thought about Russia for a second. Japan, I don't want to marry you, he said bluntly. A few girls from other kingdoms saw the two engaged royals and giggled, thinking their relationship was so sweet, clearly not able to hear what America just said due to the loud chatter of the crowd. You think I want to? But we can't really call it off now. There would be a riot, the Japanese girl sighed. That reminds me, isn't there going to be a waltz soon? She broke the silence between them. Don't remind me. I bet they're going to force us to dance. It's up to you, but I'd rather you not do that. It makes me feel guilty. As if on cue, the waltz started. A large middle area of the crowd was cleared as a dance floor. Many people entered in as pairs of two and started dancing. France came out of nowhere and pushed the three of them to the edge of the crowd, where they had full view of the dancing royals. I'm not going to force you to dance. That's your own choice. But at least enjoy the show, she said before leaving them alone again. A few royals were already staring at Japan and America, as though they were expecting them to dance together. America gave Japan a look. As friends, he said with a smile. She smiled back. The two of them walked to the dance floor. The royals were watching them intently as they glided through the dance floor with grace. Their movements were precise and yet unique at the same time. I guess that's the result of America practicing the dance for a week straight in preparation for the ball. The other dancers surrounding them stared intently as they themselves danced. Russia watched them both with fascination and a slight touch of envy. But Russia knew all the moves to the dance after seeing America practice it for a whole week. He caught up by then. Halfway through the dance, America whispered to Japan. A smile appeared on her face. They both suddenly stopped. Japan gracefully walked back to the Russian. Almost all eyes were on them, as they wondered why they stopped halfway. Were they tired? America walked over as well, but the Japanese girl stood there and rested while the American stopped to halt in front of his guard. America did a bow with one arm across his chest and the other extended slightly upwards. May I have this dance? And that's the end of this chapter. I hope you've enjoyed. I'd once again like to invite you to join the Discord server. The link is down in the description. I hope you have a nice day, night, afternoon, whatever it is for you right now. Have a nice whatever it is. I'll see you tomorrow.